Hi, everybody. My name is Sarita Scherpereel, and I am not your mother's realtor, and this is my podcast where we talk about more than just real estate. And as always, I'm joined by my colleague, my client, and my best friend, Megan Osberger.
Hello, everyone. We have a good show out here for you.
I really am so excited to share with everyone how we met. I want to talk a little bit about, our meet story. Like, if this was a wedding, this would be like our meet story.
Yeah.
How did we meet?
This would be like a really gratuitously long speech, and you'd all be like, please just give
Wrap
me
it
cake.
up. Wrap it up. Get to the cake. Get to the dancing.
But yes, we're talking about us today, and we're excited.
And I think this will help shine some insight into kind of our points of view and a little bit of, to understand our relationship too. I think will help frame why you're listening to us and our perspectives in how we see things as friends, but also as individuals.
Right.
So, I guess I'll get started by saying, like, back in the day, so I've had many different reincarnations of myself in my life. I've had many different lives. And if you don't know me, this might come as a little bit of a surprise, but I used to do stand-up and improv.
And I didn't.
And you did not. No. You did not. But although you should, like, you're super funny.
This is the closest I've ever come.
This is you, like, at your peak. Are you peaking?
I hope so. I guess we'll find out. That's up to you, listeners. Tell your friends.
Megan's peaking. I used to do, like, improv and stand-up, and I met a really wonderful person while I was working in improv that ended up being, like, this great connector through all of through my life, through a lot of my wonderful friends I made, and then I met that person I met you through that person.
Yeah, I worked with her at a law firm, so I also had a bunch of weird stuff before this that doesn't
jobs,
always
different lives.
It wasn't all odd, but it was really different from now.
And I think that honestly, one of the things that I didn't know about you that we talked about is that you worked at Guaranteed Rate for like a hot second.
Yeah.
So you do have, like, lending experience. You do have some insights into things, not only as, like, from a client perspective, but also, like, an industry perspective.
Yeah,
so law firm.
Yeah, legal.
Big,
and,
yeah.
But so we met at one of our friends' parties and hit it off.
Oh, right away. I loved you. I loved you so hard. I was so excited to talk to you when we were at the party. And I also remember, you know how, like, when you're at parties, you kind of, like, talk to people, and then you sort of go back to that person that, like, really excites you. And, like, I just remember constantly coming right back to you.
Yeah, I remember us hitting it off. But also, since I was at a coworker's party, you know how that is. It's like, I don't know how good of friends we are yet. So
oh, yeah.
I don't know
so it's like a different layer.
So it's just like, we weren't fully established as friends until at the end. The last time I saw you for several years was at her going away party.
Yeah. So she ended up moving away, and had, like, kind of a one big last final blowout.
Yeah.
And I think I knew that this was probably one of the last times I was going to see you casually at these parties. And I just wanted to be your friend. I just thought, like, you were so cool. So I basically had said, hey, do you want to ever hang out? I'd love to be your friend or something. This was probably the sweetest moment of my life. And I'm laying this on thick because the bitch slap I'm about to get. But I think it was one of the most vulnerable moments I've had of my life. I was like, here's my heart, lady. Please accept it.
And I said, I'm sorry, I'm just so busy. I don't really have time to take on any new friendships right now. And I just want to say that, yes, I shouldn't have said it that way at all.
Oh, but I will also say that is way nicer. Even that is so much nicer than how I felt like my interpretation of the past is I don't have time to take on any new friends right now.
Okay, well, we all heard my voice,
popular,
so we know it didn't sound like that. But
it was like, I wish her voice sounded like that.
Yeah, it was
two high-pitched dogs that I have to listen to.
All of you wish it sounded like that. Like I was Christian Bale as Batman. But
I don't have time for your friendship.
But I had just started a new job.
That's what my heart hurt.
It was terrible. And we didn't see each other for probably 3 years.
Yeah. But so you did just start a new job. And I think that
I was just overwhelmed.
I
and I didn't
think
want to be
that's-
one of those people like, oh, yeah, we should totally have lunch. And then you never have lunch.
Right. But I was like fully,
a
like,
follow-upper.
I want to be your friend. You know, I wasn't just like bullshitting, like, oh yeah, let's just go do a bunch or whatever. I think what's funny to me is like, I said that with the intent of like, this is great. I want more of this.
No, I agreed. I just was like, I almost missed this party because of my new job that's working me too much.
Yeah.
So
anyway, just not the right time for our love.
Wasn't in the stars.
Mm-hmm. So, cut to this person gets married.
Yes.
Or she got engaged first and then she got
Her
married.
bachelorette party. So, cut to Las Vegas. There we are.
Oh my God. Okay, so this
Super pale.
This bachelorette party was
Crazy.
a shit show.
It was super fun. It was so fun.
Oh, honestly, it was probably one of the most fun weekends of my life.
It was so fun.
In, I think, a 3-day period of time, or however long we were there, 2 days or something, I think I have more stories from that weekend than I know what to do with. And also, still am trying to recall. So, I think we separated ourselves from the pack a little bit because...
well, we all got along really well.
Oh, yeah, but there were
Sarita
certain
and I
levels.
did finally exchange phone numbers.
Yeah.
Because we would text each other like, okay, it's 3 a.m.
So-and-so's not back.
Like, we really are tired and want to go to sleep, and everyone else took Coke. So, like, they aren't tired yet.
No, everybody
want to walk back to the
was
hotel?
wound up.
Everybody probably wasn't on Coke.
Not everybody, but I would
some people
say
definitely were, and we definitely weren't.
that we were probably one of maybe 4 people that did not do coke. And I think so one of my funny stories from this weekend was so they're doing drugs and people are like, who wants to do drugs? And I've never done coke and I will never do coke.
Okay, I just want to say no one said who wants to do drugs. We hang out with cool people, not like Saturday afternoon specials people or whatever.
This is how good the DARE program worked on me. I'm turning red right now. I'm so embarrassed because it's
DARE
true.
worked for.
It's so true. Oh my God, DARE worked too good. Is that a good phrase? No, it's not a great phrase, but like
okay.
it worked really well.
It worked really well for you. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're asking who wants to do drugs or whatever. Anyways, immediately, without even like skipping a beat, one of the girls was like, "Oh no, not Sarita. She doesn't need it," which is fair. I don't need it. I am naturally high, but I also took a Claritin D so I could keep up a little bit, and that was very helpful because the decongestant I think does give you a little like boost.
There's a reason they ask for IDs before they show it to us. But yeah, so that's when we sort of reconnected.
Yeah,
and then we hung out at the wedding, and then we were like in and out of touch sometimes. We were Facebook friends.
Yeah.
And finally I quit my job and had my baby. And Sarita quit her job.
Yeah, so about the same time, we found ourselves in a good...
We were both transitioning to new lives. Yeah.
And so I think I just put it out there needing a little bit more of like a steady flow of income. Sort of put it out there. I don't know if I contacted you.
You texted me and you said, hey, I'm quitting my job to pursue real estate full time. And while this is like picking up, do you know anyone who needs babysitting? Because you knew I just had a baby. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. I need babysitting. Yeah. And so Sarita started coming over once a week.
Yeah.
And that was how we got close again.
And I think, so, this part kind of makes me want to cry a little bit because in terms of like having... So real estate is feast or famine. That's just kind of how it is. And especially as you first get started, you don't also know sometimes who or the clients you're investing in, taking out, seeing properties, if they're actually going to buy or not. So you could be hot on and working with someone for a while and then it falls apart. It's not the right time. They never found the right place, whatever. So to have like a sense of like a little bit of regularity, even if it wasn't a lot of money, but it was so helpful of like, okay, well, I know that at least I can eat. Like my rent's taken care of and I've got this little bit of side income stream for when you guys needed like a date night.
Yeah, and we knew like, oh, we have this newborn who we're afraid to leave with a stranger. Mm-hmm. So you weren't a stranger, which was good.
Yeah.
And and I knew you didn't do coke. Although actually I would totally associate her with like anyone from that bachelorette party because they were very trustworthy people.
Oh, 100%.
But I'm just 100%. Saying. Yeah. But yeah, so she started coming, and Ben and I were, you have friends who take these leaps, and sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't, and we weren't really sure. We're like, wow, that's really brave that she's doing this. Oh. But then it was cool. Like, we were seeing her and she's like on her computer like I just put this property under contract, or like she'd be on the phone when we get back. Our baby was definitely asleep the whole time, pretty much.
Oh, and this was a cush job for me because Myra basically had a good 45 minutes of interface with me, and then she would hit the sack. So it was like it was easy. It was just like, hey, get her to bed, get her to eat, get her to bed, and then I basically would just like work.
Yeah. And she would work. She wouldn't ever be watching TV. It was always like she was working, or it seemed like that to us.
I think I didn't know how to work the television.
That's possible. But
in all fairness, I think I was like, oh, this Apple TV is complicated, or Google, what was it, Amazon Fire. Yeah.
But so we saw her start having more and more deals, and then, literally years passed where Sarita's coming every Thursday, and every once in a while, she's like having to cancel, and then more and more she's needing to cancel because guess what, everyone? Sarita makes more money than us now, and we're still paying her to come babysit.
And that $50 or whatever it was still looking pretty good. And I think go ahead.
I had to cut her off and say, like, Sarita, you really don't need to be our babysitter anymore. And like, I know this is an awkward conversation to have, but you're like a really successful real estate agent.
Do you know you're successful?
Yeah, and I'm like, and I know you need to be able to do showings on Thursday nights. Like, I can find anyone to watch my
Oh my God.
And so that is how
I was basically cut off. That's how that worked. I was cut off. But I think that,
but by then we were already such good friends. We stayed close.
Absolutely. And, I think what ends up happening is that was a moment of like someone sort of believing in you more than you like even believe in yourself, Like it had been, don't get me wrong, it was wonderful to go and watch Myra grow up and like really get to see her from this little egg become like a full opinionated little person. Really opinionated. So it was kind of like a really wonderful experience, especially not having family here in Chicago, being able to like go to a home once, a week and be a part of a family. So that was great. But I think where I get choked up is that like that was a moment of like, I was doing really well, but I still had such a disbelief in myself, or the belief that at any point this could go away.
Yeah.
And I think that part of that makes me that helps motivate me.
Right.
That like, I never feel like this is enough, that I'm not doing enough. And so that like being able to stay up late, get up early, work through things, as needed was always kind of reinforced. But it was a moment, a real come to Jesus moment of like, girl, you got this, fly.
Yeah. Like, I feel like you're in a cage right now and it's Myra's bedroom. But yeah, so then we kept in touch and saw each other a lot.
Yeah.
And then during the pandemic, that's when Sarita started thinking like, oh, I think I'm going to go out on my own. I don't really need this team. They need me. And that's not really benefiting.
Yeah.
And we were like, yeah, you should definitely do that.
And the pandemic was such a good time to, everybody was home, and you're not really able to you had an opportunity to really interface with yourself in a way that I think a lot of people just on a daily basis just don't have time for, whether you're running around seeing friends or you're, all your obligations kind of got like completely grounded, especially for the first like 2 months of the lockdown. So yeah, I did a lot of like kind of soul searching in that time. And I knew that like, this was really I hate this phrase because it's so crass, but like, this is the truth. It's a shit or get off the pot moment.
Yeah.
I'm either going to do this or I'm going to be a part of a team in some capacity for my entire career.
Right.
And so all my deals were in a good place. My clients were in a good place. I didn't know who was going to work with me. I couldn't solicit business because I signed
non-compete.
Non-compete, yeah. So, I couldn't entice people to come work for me. And so it was a huge leap of faith at that time to leave a highly successful team and do my own thing.
And then I know that she won't tell you this, so I will. Then Sarita, for 2 or 3 months in a row, was top Kale producer in Chicago.
Oh,
immediately after leaving. And, or maybe you still are.
Yeah, no, I should know. I know. I am.
I work for her now and I don't remember.
I think I'm one of the, so since I left and joined Kale, it's a brokerage, because you as a realtor have to be licensed under a brokerage. I've been one of the top 5 or top 10 for pretty much the entire time.
Yeah. And so it was, for Ben and I, we don't know. We know you're successful. We know you're doing well. We didn't have a clue, how much, until all of a sudden it was oh my God, this is just Sarita on her own doing this. And we were really impressed. And then also it was the pandemic and we didn't have a yard. And I've been trying to get Ben to move since 2018, I think. But even though I loved our condo. But so when we did.
And your condo is amazing.
Great. It's great.
It really is amazing.
But we just needed to move into a place with a yard. And so when it came time to list and to buy, it was it's kind of awkward if you do use your friend, because you think, what if this doesn't work out, blah, blah, blah. But that didn't really enter our minds at all. Even though we loved our old agent, we were just of course we'll use Sarita. Of course, we just trusted you and knew it wasn't you were in 2017, would we have done all this with you? Probably still, yes, but I have no idea.
Yeah, no, I don't know if you should have at that point.
Right, but so
the timing of it was that I had done enough, and the experience that I had outweighed anything else. And then also the fact that, I'm not pitching you on what we've already sold and everything.
Yeah, but it's okay. I bought it and sold.
But I think because I'd also been in the property.
Right.
I knew it so well.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I loved it.
Yeah.
So I think it's helpful to have, it's hard to work with your friend because at any point.
Well, it wasn't hard. It's more just, it could be hard if it's not working out.
Yeah.
But it's been going really well. And then while I was making an offer and Myra was about to start kindergarten, Sarita said, wait, I'm sure I said something extremely insightful.
No, I remember. So we were digging through comps on the properties, and you were basically a little property voyeur, just on the Zillow and the Redfin and the Realtor.com. Just
Redfin's my favorite app. I love it. It's like Pornhub for some people.
Yeah, like the SNL sketch. Yeah. So a lot of that was just you at that point had seen a lot of properties, and then you knew the market, and so we were talking about comps and. Obviously you bought and sold, and to have the insights, it was a no-brainer. And I think you did say something that was insightful and sassy.
I have no idea what it was, everyone, but I wish I did. But
that comment changed
our
world.
We were literally writing a contract or writing an offer, and Sarita was like, you need to come work for me when Myra goes to school. And I was like, okay. And that was my interview.
That was it.
But so that's how we started talking about working together, and you had already been thinking about doing a podcast.
Yeah, so Kayla came on. Kayla, when did you start? You started summer last year?
Yeah.
Did you have an anniversary that I missed? This is a good time to talk about that.
I guess I technically started probably
full time.
Full time in June.
June.
Yeah.
Okay. What is time?
It doesn't matter.
I know. I'm sorry. So, but I feel like you've been a part of this now for about a year and a half ish. We could say that maybe.
Yeah.
Or a good year for sure.
Because I think it was the previous September that I started.
Okay. So Kayla came on with the intent of we were going to do a podcast. We were thinking of doing a podcast. I didn't know how helpful this was going to be, but I do know that I thought it could be helpful. Mm-hmm. One, for my feelings, because I feel like oftentimes I'm talking to buyers and saying the same things over and over again, and then you kind of forget what you're saying to whom, what information you're sharing. So to create a more cohesive team so that everything was so much more transparent, but also to note too that some people do learn better through devices like this, through Instagram videos, through YouTube videos. So to try to create more transparency in real estate, making myself more dynamic with what I'm offering.
Right.
But I knew that I couldn't just talk by myself for 30 minutes on a bandwagon about whatever topic we were talking about.
Each of us could.
I could, but it gets annoying. Like my own voice
not
is
what
a
you
little,
wanna
that's the
hear.
frail kind of, you want to have like a little bit of banter. So the thought was, at first I was like, let's just practice and see how this goes, no pressure. But it worked out so well right away that, I wanted you to come and be basically the audience perspective of what ever topic we're kind of talking about, and then kind of anchor a little bit more of this between two people having a conversation than just being talked at.
And as a buyer and a seller, I feel like I might not have all of the information you do, but at least I have some background in it. So I know what you're worrying about.
Yeah.
If you're doing it.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. You understand the emotions of it.
Yeah.
I was talking to someone about this yesterday who's under contract now, and I was saying, like, real estate is a business, and it is one of these things that you want to, focus, really on the numbers, but there's such an emotional level in this, and I swear to God, the most dramatic people I've ever met in my life are the attorneys.
Oh, really?
Oh, my God.
I feel like our lawyer is a real calming influence on me.
She is yes, she is. And like
but
Melissa,
as someone who used to work with lawyers, that doesn't surprise me.
No, yeah, exactly. So like Melissa, she's like one of my go-to attorneys, and she's like super even keel.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've seen some temper tantrums, not from her, but from other lawyers that are out there. And so, have somebody that understands the emotions was kind of why, I wanted to work with Megan. And then also, you make me laugh, so no pressure there.
Hi, my name is Megan Osberg, and I'm a professional talker. That's how I feel.
That's basically it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Thank you all. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that's like kind of how we met in a nutshell, and like who we are. And I'm really just excited to share with you our insights on some of these topics, and to hope give you the information I wish I knew in my 20s, and as I was getting started either in buying real estate or just trying to get my shit together with my own personal finances, that we're giving you a little bit of motivation, that we're also giving some insights, and really just some big sister advice on shit you need to do to get your life together.
And to people like us now, but also to us at that party where we met and got rejected. Because I'm the worst.
My heart's still broken. We're basically talking to our younger selves at that party. So, and don't do drugs, kids. I'll wrap up with that. Don't do drugs.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.